This is the Ohio AgNet from the Voice You Know at the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF and Veltima Fungicide. The proven #1 for the toughest corn diseases with long-lasting residual. When you need to be confident your fungicide will perform. I'm Ty Higgins. Don't miss Dye Real Estate and Land Company's July consignment auction coming up on the 14th at the Putnam County Fairgrounds. To find out more, visit dyerealestate.com or call 419-721-3497. The crop acreage reporting deadline is fast approaching, addressing the vet shortage and enhancing and protecting soybean yield. This morning's newsfeed is delivered by Eberts Field Seeds, proven local seed performance for Ohio farmers. It's time to start planting Eberts. Call 937-473-2521 or visit online at ebertsseeds.com. The crop acreage reporting deadline is coming up, and a lot of farmers still aren't done planting. Bennett Musselman is with Leist Mercantile.
July 15th is the acres reporting deadline for crop insurance and as well as the FSA office too. So make sure you see your agent and go to the FSA office and get your acres certified.
How tedious could this process be?
You know, there's a lot of paperwork. Depends on how many farms you have and the different CLUs that the FSA puts out. So I mean, it could take a long time to fill out the paperwork properly.
Any concern about with what we're seeing with the spring planting season, and now we get into later management plans for some of these crops, and even wheat harvest, baling straws? We're seeing a lot of farmers in this area do that. There's just so much going on that maybe this kind of takes the back burner.
There is. We have a lot of wheat planted in the area, and the wheat was hurt by frost down this way, so that kind of delayed some maturity, and it's given guys fits that are baling straw. So folks are still trying to get double crops planted. So you can't report your acres till you're done planting. So that's going to push guys up against the deadline to make sure they get everything done.
Is there any extension process that farmers can ask for, or does it have to be done by the deadline?
Nope, the deadline. We have to have a signed acres report by the 15th. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you want insurance, that's when we need to have it.
That's Bennett Musselman with Leist Mercantile. Time to check in with our weekly update from the Ohio Soybean Council and your checkoff dollars at work. Here's Dusty Sonnenberg.
On today's update from the Ohio Soybean Council, we wanted to feature the North Central Soybean Research Program. Now, this is a multi-state collaborative research and outreach effort that is check-off funded by several states to support soybean farmers and drive the soybean industry. Now, the focus obviously is soybean production research and extension outreach. As we said, they invest your soybean checkoff dollars to better understand and manage plant stressors that reduce soybean yields and farmer profitability. The North Central Soybean Research Program's emphasis is on enhancing and protecting soybean yield through both genetic and agronomic practices. One of the ways they accomplish this is through the Soybean Research Information Network, which highlights results and provides resources and promotes the importance of soybean research. It's administered by the North Central Soybean Research Program and supported by the United Soybean Board and state and regional soybean boards. To learn more, you can visit their website at ncsrp.com. Today's update brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff.
Thank you, Dusty. Let's check the forecast now with Ryan Martin, brought to you by Seed Genetics Direct, the #1 fastest growing and largest Ohio-based independent seed company.
It's not necessarily a good one or a bad one. I guess let's put it this way. Temperatures up slightly today. Humidity values up a lot. Those are going to trigger some pop-up scattered showers and thunderstorms late afternoon and evening, more so overnight tonight and then through tomorrow. I think by the time we get done with the Friday time frame, actually let's go through sunrise on Saturday morning, we're probably going to end up with 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch across most of the state, with some locally higher totals with stronger thunderstorms down in south central and southwestern parts of Ohio. So rain coming here to finish the week. Not much today, but tonight through tomorrow and early Saturday, yep, it's coming. Then we go dry for the balance of the weekend. Dry, hot, and humid all of next week. We could be rain-free all the way till Sunday the 19th. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.
A new report outlines key factors driving Ohio's veterinary shortage. Allison Kinney has that story.
The Ohio Department of Agriculture, the Ohio State University College of Veterinary Medicine, and Farm Journal Foundation announced the release of a new report examining the growing shortage of rural and food system veterinarians in Ohio and identifying the potential pathways to strengthen the veterinary workforce. The report is a starting point for conversations and further work to identify the causes of rural and food system veterinarian shortages. The release of the Ohio Rural and Food Systems Veterinary Shortage Solutions marks the fifth report developed by Farm Journal Foundation, following Indiana, Maryland, Kansas, and Oklahoma. The report is part of the organization's State and Community Readiness Program to address the critical shortage of food animal veterinarians. For more information and to view the entire report, please visit ohioagnet.com. For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Allison Kinney reporting.
Thank you, Allison. Farmer sentiment weakened again in June as the Purdue University CME Group Ag Economy Barometer fell 6 points to 113, marking the second straight monthly decline. The index of current conditions dropped to its lowest level since December of 2024, while the future expectations index also moved lower as producers remain cautious about the year ahead. High input costs continue to dominate producers' concerns. 47% of farmers surveyed identified rising input expenses as their biggest challenge, while 42% said those costs are preventing improvements in their farm financial position. Low crop and livestock prices ranked a distant second. Only 12% of farmers said their operations are in better financial shape than a year ago, while 22% expect conditions to improve over the next 12 months. Never too early to start scouting those fields to find out what needs to be done in order to get the best yields possible at the end of the growing season. The featured audio discusses that very topic coming up next here on the Ohio AgNet.
Be aware, ticks are there. As you head outdoors, remember to avoid tall grass, wear light-colored full-coverage clothing, and use EPA-registered repellent. Be sure to thoroughly check for ticks after you head in for the day. If you find any ticks, remove them carefully with tweezers and watch for symptoms such as fever, headache, or rash. For more information on ticks and tick bite prevention, head over to ohio.gov/ticks.
Life on the farm moves fast, and so does the news that matters to you. Stay ahead with the Digital Daily from Ohio AgNet and Ohio's Country Journal. Each morning, get the top ag headlines, market trends, weather updates, and the stories shaping Ohio agriculture, all delivered right to your inbox. It's free, it's easy, and it keeps you informed before the day gets going. Sign up now at ohioagnet.com for the Digital Daily and get yours first thing in the morning.
Welcome back on the Ohio AgNet. I'm Joe Everett. Today I'm visiting with Ken Ford, Extension Educator with Fayette County. And Ken, as you're going around and checking out fields, what's some of the things you're finding as you're scouting the corn crop right now?
Well, we've been out scouting around for tar spot and corn. We haven't officially found it. I personally haven't. I'm sure it's probably there. We've got some neighboring counties that they have found it in. Tar spot's probably our biggest concern right now in corn. Due to some weather conditions, I mean, we're kind of set up for the perfect storm here with tar spot, the warmer nights, the warmer days, and some moisture. Tar spot's one of those things. Soybeans, I mean, we're going to start to see some fog eye, I'm sure. I mean, bean leaf beetles are out there, the Japanese beetles. So those are going to be something that you want to scout for as well. But right now, we're kind of at the edge. A lot of our herbicides we're off label at this point. So because we've got our beans are in R1 stage, R2. So weeds are another thing to be scouting for. So if you're looking into your soybean fields, obviously water hemp is one of our big concerns statewide. You need to keep an eye on that, and sometimes you might have to rogue some out.
As we talk about fungicide treatments and them being maybe more essential this growing season with the conditions we've had so far, what are some advice and some tips you could give some growers who might not be as familiar with a fungicide application?
The biggest thing is to know what you've got and to spray for what you have. A lot of times we get into where we find with farmers, they do a blanket application of fungicide or whatever at this time of year, and it may not even really be what they need to be spraying for based upon what's going on in the field. Part of scouting is to know what you're looking for and then set up those applications for fungicide applications based upon what you're finding. And if you need help with that, there's a lot of professionals out there. We've got a lot of crop consultants, and then our county educators. A lot of us even have interns and things, so we can cover a lot of acres in a short period of time.
When you talk about scouting and the weather conditions and the growing environment changing every day, how often should farmers be out scouting?
Well, typically, I would say a week to 10 days is probably as far as you want to stretch it out. So typically, things will change relatively rapidly, so you want to be on top of it. You go farther than 10 days, I feel like you could be missing some opportunities there. I mean, at this point, a lot of times our crops are made. It's just a matter of how well the crop is going to finish at this point. In some cases, we've got pollination going on in corn and soybeans. So you want to minimize anything that's going to prohibit that from continuing and finishing well. So a week is probably pretty common. You could probably go out 10 days, but again, that's getting a little far away.
I also know this time of year you guys have plenty of work to do, but you're also preparing for an event that comes up in August. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, here in Fayette County, we have the Southwest Ohio Corn Growers annual agronomy field day. This event has been going on. Actually, we've been trying to figure out how many years it has been going on. Unfortunately, we've lost some of our guys that were really involved early on. It's dated back into the 80s, as far as we know, that there's been a Southwest Ohio Corn Growers Field Day. This year, it's August 18th, the Fayette County Airport. We also have a research farm there. So we have a really good lineup of speakers, guys from the Ohio and National Corn Growers Association with Harley Jansen coming, Tad Nicholson. We're very fortunate to have our National Corn Growers president in Ohio and in Fayette County, Jed Bauer. They'll be on the lineup. We actually have a plot at the field day that's got some sunflowers in it. We'll also have some sweet corn as well as some cotton in Fayette County. Talk a little bit about some of that stuff. And we've got lots of events going on, free breakfast, free lunch. So it's a community-wide event that we invite anyone and everyone to come to.
I appreciate all the great information today, and I look forward to hearing how the field day goes in August. My guest today has been Ken Ford, Extension Educator with Fayette County. Thank you for your time today.
Well, thank you, Joe.
That's Joe Everett with today's featured audio. We'll get a check of the markets and analysis after this as the Ohio AgNet continues.
Looking for heavy equipment but don't know where to buy? Purple Wave Auction has you covered. Always online and always no reserve. It's your destination for construction or ag equipment ready to work. We even sell semis, trailers, and fleet equipment for your operation. Best part? It's free to join. Head to purplewave.com. That's purplewave.com. Sign up for a free account and start bidding today. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
The way farmers get their information is expanding, and now there's a new dimension of farm news for the Buckeye State. Ohio AgNet TV. Learn from other farmers, see products and practices in action, and stay connected to what is happening both locally and nationally. Plus, watch expanded video coverage throughout the growing season and beyond with regular updates from the field and stories that highlight the people, issues, and innovations driving Ohio agriculture. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe now on YouTube by searching Ohio AgNet TV, where Ohio agriculture comes to life.
Welcome back to the Ohio AgNet. I'm Ty Higgins, and this morning's market analysis is brought to you by Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to bring a brand new soybean crush facility to Upper Sandusky. Learn more about marketing your soybeans with LDC at 574-566-2113. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets Wednesday finished mostly lower. The only green that we saw on the screen was in bean oil. It was up big following crude oil. Crude oil was up about $4.50 to $5 a barrel yesterday. So soybean oil and the oats market. So if you think oats knows, you've heard me say that before, but it's still here. Oats was up ever so slightly. Corn, beans, wheat, all down. Beans held on the longest through the day, but even old crop beans have finished weaker on the day. The activity out there was mostly one of rumor. Rumors have it that China's up to about 1 million metric tons of purchases now versus anything confirmed. Nada. Nothing. And so outside of that, with no different demand thing, we're just not really seeing any kind of serious action. I guess we did get confirmed late 472,000 tons of soybeans, but 136,000 tons of those are for delivery prior to SEP 1. So a far cry from the million metric tons talked about or rumored to this point. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thank you, Ryan. It's mixed overnight with corn for July down 2 1/4 at 4.32 1/2. December 4.53 3/4 down 2.5 cents. July beans up 2 cents at 11.97 a bushel. November 11.93 up 3/4, and no change for July wheat at 5.99 1/2. For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Ty Higgins. We'll see you down the road.